So I'm Matt with Ray Allen, and today we're going to talk about Biothane or RAM-Tech leashes, right? So basically what you've got when you start looking at this stuff is this is a nylon core PVC coated. So what does that mean? That means there's a piece of nylon webbing inside of this leash, and then it's coated with this with a PVC material. Now, why is that kind of interesting? What this does is it makes it so that this is dishwasher safe. You can heat it, you can cook it, you can freeze it, and it always feels about the same, right? It always balls up about the same, it always folds about the same. It gives you the same feel and texture every single time you grab it, which is kind of handy, right? The other thing to look at is kind of what the strength is, right? So when you look at this, and we're going to do some testing, some brake testing on some of this stuff here shortly. So check out, keep an eye out for that video, or if you're watching this at a later date, you should be able to find it. But what happens is basically you have, for every 1/4 inch of width, you have 250 pounds of strength, right? So this is a 1/4 inch leash. That webbing is rated at 250 pounds. This is a 1/2 inch leash. This is going to be rated at 500. This is a 3/4 inch leash. This is going to be rated at 700. So when you're looking at that's the first thing to think. The wider it is, the stronger it is, because the more webbing that's inside of it holding it. Now again, at 250 pounds, the reality is I'm probably not going to hold on to the dog without getting drug around pretty heavy at 250 pounds. So even the light, really thin ones work well, especially with a trained dog. The other thing you're going to notice is that some of these are stitched and riveted, and some of them are just stitched. So the reason for that is in the 1/4 inch leash, when you actually pop a hole through that webbing, you weaken it too much, right? You take too much strength out of the webbing on the inside. The stitching doesn't do that because it actually fits between the fibers when you sew it. So you don't degrade the strength rating on the 1/4 inch leash if you if you just stitch it. Whereas if you drop a rivet in here, you actually degrade its strength. So you actually reduce it by a noticeable amount. Where in the 1/2 inch and the 3/4 and the other ones, you don't have that, right? It doesn't degrade the strength enough because there's so much webbing around that rivet that it doesn't cause you any problems. So the next thing you're going to see is stainless steel hardware, and you're going to see brass hardware. So when you look at the brass hardware, 1-inch snaps, test at about 500 pounds. Stainless steel 1-inch snaps test at about 600 pounds. So for the most part, they sort of generally match about what the load rating of the webbing itself is. Now these come in everything from, literally you can buy this guy at 2 feet and you can buy them at 33 feet. And all things in between. So you'll find all kinds of different lengths and widths across the RAM-Tech leashes. There is just a bunch of them. The next thing to look at is what we call an M.W.D leash, and this is the same material, right? Everything about it is the same material. You'll notice it's a touch stiffer, right? But it's like half the weight because there's actually air kind of blown into this PVC. So that it actually is it's like a foamed material. And this is much tackier. It's stickier wet than the regular Biothane is, and it's just generally much tackier. Like you can grab it and you can pull a lot more with this than you can hold on to with the regular Biothane, right? So when you're looking at that M.W.D material or that sort of air injected PVC coated material, it gives you a lot less weight per inch of webbing or per foot of webbing, same strength ratings, all that fun stuff. And then the second thing that it does is it makes it way stickier. So when you grab it, you can really grab onto it. Kind of a neat material. It has some really nice applications. It's great as a second leash. It's great to wad up and throw it in a pocket, stuff like that, because it just doesn't weigh much. So it goes in a cargo pocket really well. Same thing with something like this, right? As a backup leash, these little 1/4 and 1/2 inch leashes are great to throw in a cargo pocket as a backup leash. So if something happens to you, as a handler or an officer, if something happens, you've got a backup leash that's just stuffed in the cargo pocket. The guys in your department know that. They know where to get it. So if they've got to collect Fluffy because there's a problem or something's happened, bam, they know you've got a backup leash in that cargo pocket with you all the time. So it kind of gives you an extra piece of security there, or a backup. And that's what's nice about some of these thinner leashes, isn't that they don't weigh much, they don't take up much room. They work really great as a, sort of day in and day out, walking the dog, doing that kind of thing, but they're a perfect backup leash. Anyway, that's kind of the deal with biothane and RAM-Tech and all the different variations of it. It comes in a bazillion colors. We sell it in a number of them. You'll see most of them in black, but we do sell a bunch of other colors, reds and blues and yellows and green. I don't know. There's all kinds of other colors out there. Anyway, I'm Matt, Rayon. This has been Biothane Leashes and all that fun. You can find these at rayon.com. You'll be able to find information on that stuff on the website, and find us on Facebook, click the like button, do that kind of thing. YouTube, there's links to the thing in the the description down here at the bottom or up there at the top. I don't know where they put them, but get on Snapface and check us out. Thanks for taking the time to stop by.